What's up guys, I'm back once again to show you some of the hot mods of the week. But firstly, if you didn't already know, Agony is one of my favourite mods of all time. But there is one bug that is kind of immersion breaking. But with this first mod, Agony animation fixes, we're going to be fixing this issue. Now this is what the animation is going to look like before you install this mod. And this is what the animation is going to look like after you install this mod. Now, if you're a keen user of Agony, then you might say that this sounds an awful lot like Agony Extended, and you'd be correct. But the main difference between this and Agony Extended is that this mod works through animations, whereas Agony Extended works through scripts. And I'm no mod author, but I think that means that this mod is more safer to uninstall, as it doesn't tamper with scripts. So if you're as much of a fan of Agony as I am, then maybe this mod is worth a download. And of course, this week's weapon mod is the double Sig Sauer Handgun pack, and you can craft these at a chem station with no perk requirements and for a small amount of crafting materials. Now what you're actually going to get with this mod is two brand new pistols, the Sig P226 and the Sig P320. Now both of these weapons have pretty much identical upgrades, so I'm only going to go over one. So in terms of upgrades, you have the choice of 2 slides, 2 barrels, 2 mags, 5 sights, 6 muzzles including none, 2 colours for your sights, 5 damage options, 3 ammunition types, 4 lower rail attachments including none, and finally 9 receivers. Now it seems that recently a lot of weapon mods have been pistols, so why should you download this mod as opposed to all the rest? Well, it's simple really. Those pistols have been small, low damage, and mainly designed for sneak purposes, whereas these pistols are very big and powerful, so you can truly be as aggressive as you want and really get up in your enemy's grill. Now for this next mod, I went into it really not expecting much, as it takes a weapon that's in the base game and tries to make it good, and I didn't think this was possible. And of course, the mod that I'm talking about is the S.R.O Syringer Overhaul. And in terms of upgrades, you have the choice of 6 barrels, 3 stocks, 18 sights, 10 carcass paints, 8 materials, 5 laser sights, 2 firing mechanisms, 6 flashlights, 5 infusions, 3 pressure modifications, and finally 4 chemical modules. Now with this mod, it's less of a weapon mod and more of a weapon fixing mod. So the first thing I did was craft up a bunch of syringes and went to see what it could do. Naturally, I chose the boomer syringes, and after firing a bunch into some enemies, nothing really happened. Until I think this goes without saying that this is the most damage a Syringer gun has ever done. And one thing that I really wasn't expecting from this is just how satisfying it is when all the explosions go off. Now this is just the boomer syringe, and I would have been perfectly happy if this was all the mod added, but this mod overhauls every single syringe in the game, as well as adding many new ones. Now in Fallout 4, you have a choice of 9 syringes, all of which are pretty much useless, but with this mod installed, you have a choice of 26 syringes, including an empty one to craft the rest with, all of which having pretty appropriate perk and material requirements. But what I really like about this mod is the smaller details. The mod author could have gone absolutely crazy on the Syringer and made it insanely overpowered, but no, this actually feels like how the Syringer should have felt in the base game. In my mind, the Syringer is the weapon of a madman, a person that doesn't want to kill their enemy simply with a bullet to the head. No, they want to make their enemy suffer with an array of crazy syringes, and this mod makes the Syringer feel just like that. And another detail about this mod is if, for some reason, you happen to have any of the Creation Club skin mods, you'll be able to apply those to this weapon as well. Now I know for this review, we've pretty much only seen the boomer syringe, but if I went over all the different syringes, I think we'd be here for quite a while. But if there was one thing that I had to complain about with this mod, and it is of no fault of the mod at all, it's that with my instincts of playing FPSs, after killing an enemy, I would instinctively try to reload my weapon, but with the semi-automatic modification on this weapon, you really don't need to. Anyway, I think that just about covers it for this mod. On to the next one. And the second weapon mod for this week's episode is the Russian Special Forces. And what this mod is going to do is add 2 brand new weapons into the game. The GSH-18 and the AM/AMB-17. Now, to get your hands on these weapons, you're going to need to locate the crashed vertibird in the glowing sea. Here you can find the gun case key, so that you can open the gun case and gain access to these 2 brand new weapons.
Yes. Perfect.
So let's go over the pistol first. In terms of upgrades, you have the choice of 7 receivers, 2 grips, 2 mags, and finally 2 sights. Now, for such a small pistol, it really does pack a punch. As long as you're accurate enough, you can take down most enemies in just a few shots. Granted, this may not be the single most customizable weapon in the world, but it really doesn't need to be when it takes down enemies so easily. Anyway, let's now talk about the AM-17. In terms of upgrades, you have the choice of 11 receivers, 16 sights, 2 muzzle attachments, 4 lower and left rail attachments including none, 2 upper rail attachments, 1 stock, and finally a choice of 2 kits. This is going to affect what type of ammunition your gun is going to use. The AM-17 is going to use the traditional 5.56 ammo, and the AMB is going to use 10mm. Now, it's at this point that I would usually end off the video, but for this next mod it only seems fitting to do it after the Russian Special Forces. And of course, the mod that I'm talking about is the Russian Special Forces 310N retexture. And what this mod is going to do is retexture your AM/AMB-17 to make it look more aged and worn. And this is going to come in 2 files. The standard retexture and a more brutal option which adds more scuffs and scratches to the weapon. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for this mod and the video for that matter. I hope you all enjoyed the mods here today, and if you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you all in the next video.